Sometimes a gentle lie feels safer than the raw honesty that waits in the dark. Nietzsche knew the weight of truth, the way it can pierce the heart, undo the stories we've clung to for so long. Tonight we sit in that quiet tension, feeling the sting of words that strip away illusions. Because even though truth can hurt, it is also the path to freedom. A path that asks us to shed the comforts of falsehood and stand, trembling, in what is real. And in that trembling, something truer begins to breathe. Take a deep breath and step with me into the landscape of dreams and truths, where lies whisper like a gentle breeze. These comforting falsehoods, ever-present companions in the human journey, weave themselves into the fabric of our consciousness. They lull us with tender promises of safety, capturing us in their embrace, promising warmth and protection against the chilling truths of the universe. In accepting their comfort, we may unwittingly surrender our capacity to grow, trading the liberation of truth for the security of pleasant illusions. Imagine lies as soft blankets that hide us from the storm, but with a perilous cost, as they quietly suffocate the soul's yearning for authenticity. Within their soothing folds we find temporary asylum from the existential vastness that lies beyond. Yet these seductive shields, designed to protect us from the unknown, also obscure the path to our true selves. We are like children clutching beloved toys to fend off the darkness, misunderstanding that the darkness might hold a key to our evolution. To dwell only in the shelter of these illusions is to arrest our personal growth and trap ourselves within walls of our own making. In the delicate dance between truth and lies, we find ourselves often sedated by the lullaby of self-deception. Lies, with their gentle reassurances, numb us against the sharp edges of raw reality, eroding the core of our authenticity. Imagine this as a fog of complacency curling around us, whispering sweet reassurances that our falsehoods are truth. In this gentle haze, our senses dull. Life unfolds in numbed echoes rather than vibrant hues, reducing our world to a faded tapestry that masks the vibrant potential of true existence. There lies a dangerous erosion of integrity, a growing dissonance between who we seem to be and who we might truly become. Beneath our constructed narratives, we hide from ourselves, shielding our vulnerabilities so cleverly that even self-reflection is blinded. Yet each comforting lie is a pebble in the river of our identity, altering its course subtly but inexorably. We are called by truth to strip away these masks, to confront with courage and vulnerability what is real. In doing so, we may rediscover the sublime beauty of an unvarnished existence. This deception, seductive in its immediacy, promises simplicity and control. We craft and cling to false beliefs to conform to desires and expectations, finding stability in the bewildering complexity of life. Yet the familiar comfort of such self-deception is fraught with peril. In cocooning ourselves within fortifications of our own making, we ultimately limit our potential. To break free, one must face the unknown with relentless commitment to what is real, a journey fraught with discomfort, but illuminated by the promise of authenticity. Our relationships are not immune to these threads of comforting falsehoods. Lies slip and weave between people, acting as drapery that may soften conflict, but at the expense of genuine connection. In protecting ourselves and others with these tales, we sacrifice the depth of truth's potential. Trust frays, and with it, the very fabric of relationships dulls. Yet truth intertwined with vulnerability can forge stronger, richer connections, inviting us to engage more authentically and see the beauty in the complexity of honest human interaction. As we slowly untangle ourselves from the web of falsehoods, we embark upon a pilgrimage toward genuine meaning. This quest is driven by our intrinsic yearning for purpose, a pursuit derailed when we settle into comforting lies. Truth demands courage, an embrace of the unknown, an exploration both daunting and transformative. It is here in the profound act of challenging and moving beyond these narratives that the capacity for growth and renewal lies. The battle with lies is also a battle for our very essence, shaping who we understand ourselves to be. Falsehoods entwine with our identity, moulding who we are to the world. This identity, a construct, a narrative, serves to comfort us but also imprisons our spirit. To peel away these layers is a profound act of self-discovery, liberating us from the chains of comforting untruths. We uncover a self-defined not by illusions or borrowed stories, but by honest reflection, both painful and enlightening. In this labyrinthine journey toward authenticity, we encounter resistance, for falsehoods are established defences, lining the path with cautionary barriers. Choosing truth is an act of rebellion, tearing down these comforting facades to reveal the rough beauty beneath. The courage to embrace truth is met with resistance, yet it brings renewal, a cleansing of the soul that invigorates our being. Lies decay the spirit, truth enriches it. This chapter unfurls as an invitation, a call to step through the veil of comforting deception into the vibrant expanse of conscious living. In embracing truth, we awaken to ourselves, a vivid dance through life imbued with unceasing purpose and boundless authenticity. We embrace the arduous embrace of truth, unlocking the passage to realise the full potential that lies untapped within us. A journey blessed by reality's unfiltered clarity, vivid and raw. In the quiet recesses of philosophical thought, where shadows dance with light, Friedrich Nietzsche emerges as a guide with a blade of intellect. Nietzsche's razor, a tool not for cutting the flesh, but for cleaving through the sinews of illusion. Imagine, if you will, a blade so sharp that it demands an unwavering gaze into the stormy seas of reality. It slices through the comforting shrouds that we wrap ourselves in, those veils of half-truths and gentle lies that cradle us away from chaos. Yet it is in this cutting through, this untangling of deceptive webs, that we find wisdom's bittersweet embrace. Picture a world where lies tempt with their glittering simplicity, where they shine like beacons promising safety, but offering none. These falsehoods, like sirens, call out to the fragile ego, their songs weaving tales of certainty in an uncertain world. Yet Nietzsche saw through this glitter, understanding the danger lurking behind their allure. Lies, wrapped in rationality, shield us from the tempest of truth, offering a semblance of order. But they are illusions gazing at us with hollow eyes, leading us further into a dreamscape, not toward reality. As the veil is lifted, the chaos beneath reveals itself, fierce, unyielding, alive. A storm where meaning flashes like lightning, not gentle summer rain. Nietzsche recognised in this chaos not an adversary, but the very fabric of existence. A vibrant dance inviting those brave enough to join without false anchors. It challenges but also transforms, urging us to fashion meaning amid its whirling tapestries. In these currents there is both dread and creation. It is here that potential resides, awaiting our recognition. The journey toward radical clarity demands sacrifice, for the path is strewn with familiar comforts left behind. Here lies a landscape of unembellished truth, a place where self-concepts are dismantled, revealing wounds long hidden. As illusions fall away, we confront voids, questions of identity and purpose staring back at us. This clarity chills more than comforts. It strips away pretense, leaving nothing but the raw bones of reality. It invites a transformation that honours our vulnerabilities, guiding us to authenticity. In this confrontation, the ego finds itself unmasked, its comforting narratives torn asunder by the light of truth. Protective as it is, the ego clings to illusions, seeking refuge in self-preservation. Yet under Nietzsche's razor, these defences crumble, exposing the ego's limitations. Its stories, once soothing, now lay bare as chains hindering growth, and through their dissolution, we glimpse self-awareness beyond our frail constructs. The world, sewn from threads of chaos, awaits an honest gaze. Nietzsche deemed this chaos its own canvas, a paradox not for taming, but for understanding. It calls for an eye unclouded by hope of control, learning instead to admire its depths and mysteries. With courage, the brave cultivate harmony within its tumult, forging new paths amid the swirling uncertainty, a delicate dance of acceptance and adaptability. In the stark light of disillusionment, there lies an unexpected freedom, a wisdom found only through liberation from beguiling illusions. It's not truth that binds us, but our forsaken fantasies. In letting go, we reclaim the stories of our own making, freed from the constraints of inherited beliefs. This emancipatory struggle shapes us, gifting the resilient strength to write narratives imbued with authentic meaning. Through art and metaphor, we approach the heart of Nietzsche's razor. Here, expression serves as both a guide and companion in navigating life's chaotic truths. Art, rich with metaphor, offers insights beyond literal interpretation, enabling us to explore deep truths with gentle reflection and emotional resonance. In this sacred space, truths unveil themselves layer by layer, whispered rather than commanded, inviting us to ponder and reflect. Courage, an essential companion, takes form in the stark light of scraped illusions and unfolded truths. Here, courage is not bravado, but quiet fortitude, an unflinching willingness to engage with fear and discomfort. It is the spirit's resolve against the backdrop of life's unanswered questions, a testament to humanity's indelible quest for meaning amid uncertainty. And so, in the wake of Nietzsche's conceptual blade, we find a self anew, a canvas not limited by illusion, but open to the touch of truth. It beckons us to a life less defined by pretense, embracing evolution as a sacred journey. Here lies not a static identity, but a dynamic becoming, a self both creator and creation, resilient and authentic. This is the path of Nietzsche's razor, separating illusion from reality, gifting us with the profound poetry of truth untethered. In the quiet sanctuary of illusion, we find warmth in the embrace of comforting lies. These falsehoods, like a soft blanket, cradle us in a fabricated security that lulls us into complacency. Hidden beneath this comforting facade, the soul yearns for truth, though its voice is muffled by layers of deceit. Our existence appears safe, yet this safety is but a mirage, a fleeting shadow cast in a world of truth that stings when exposed to the light. When the veils of illusion fall away, reality reveals its rawness. This revelation is akin to the jarring chill of a sudden wind, biting at the very core of our being as the world reveals its stark truths. It can feel as though we stand alone against the sharp edges of existence, no longer cushioned by the pacifying fables we once clung to. we are faced with a daunting choice: return to the comfort of half-truths, or embrace the unvarnished reality, dazzling yet painful, freeing yet demanding. As the comforting narratives crumble, we often encounter an overwhelming sense of meaninglessness. This chasm of emptiness emerges when the stories we once relied upon dissolve into nothingness. The scaffolding of meaning that once supported our lives collapses, leaving us exposed to the silence of the void, far from distracting illusions. Yet within this bleakness lies a paradoxical opportunity. We are offered the chance to forge new meanings where old ones fail, an open path that invites either surrender to despair or a courageous leap towards creative rebirth. In accepting the capricious nature of life, we are freed to construct purposes all our own, rooted in the soil of personal authenticity rather than cultural delusion. Mortality, often softened by comforting euphemisms, stands revealed as one of life's immutable truths. Here lies an existential awakening, stripping away the lies that obscure death's inevitable presence. We are illuminated by its certainty, a shadow constant colouring each moment with gravity. This confrontation enriches the simple act of living, urging us to savour the present with deliberate attention, to seek authenticity over triviality, and to weave significance into the tapestry of our finite existence. With illusions dissolved, suffering becomes an unwavering companion. In shedding the cloak of lies, we cease to view suffering as an adversary. Instead, it transforms into a profound teacher. Embracing suffering requires us to acknowledge and pass through pain, cultivating endurance and wisdom in the process. It demands radical acceptance, revealing to us the hidden reservoirs of strength and empathy born through hardship. Here, in the fertile ground of suffering's lesson, boundaries are drawn and wisdom blossoms, transforming previous weaknesses into pathways of insight and understanding. In the confrontation with unmasked reality, we meet an abyss of freedom previously shrouded by illusions. This freedom, vast and daunting, unmoors us from the shelters of past delusions and narratives. The liberating breadth of this freedom compels us to embrace the weight of self-determination as we navigate uncharted territories without the crutch of preordained paths. Although laced with uncertainty, this abyss is a canvas upon which we may paint our own truths, freed at last from inherited fictions and boldened for authentic creation. This newfound clarity provokes a pilgrimage into the depths of one's psyche. Illusions stripped away, we embark on a dialogue fraught with inner conflict and quiet introspection. Here, the hidden shadows of our being demand acknowledgement as we reconcile deep-seated fears with conscious desires for authenticity. This introspection ignites transformation. Through the scrim of inner conflict, we integrate fragmented aspects of ourselves, cultivating a wholeness born not from avoidance, but through acceptance. Despair arises, often in our first steps into this unmasked territory, a desolate landscape, whispering of futility and insignificance. Yet it is within despair's grip that the seeds of rebirth are sown. As we navigate its tight grasp, the flickers of hope begin to dawn, inviting us to forge resilient paths through once impassable terrain. In breaking through despair's walls, we emerge renewed, laying foundations on the fertile grounds of authenticity and insight gathered from crossing this shadowy threshold. Through this journey, solitude ceases to be a fearsome prospect and instead transforms into a crucible for growth. In silence, unbothered by falsehoods, we engage with the authentic voice within. Alone beneath the vast sky of self-reflection, we discover motivations and values long hidden in the corners of our being. Embracing solitude, we declare self-worth independent of external validation, laying bare our essential humanity for gentle examination within this sacred, introspective space. Vulnerability becomes a transformative ally, shedding illusions to unmask the courage within. No longer clad in the armour of deceit, we emerge, flawed yet radiant in openness and integrity. Vulnerability invites connection beyond the masks we habitually wear, allowing healing and authenticity to flourish. In acknowledging our intrinsic imperfections, we harness vulnerability's transformative power, crafting lives rich with empathy and creativity. Imbued with courage, we face the transient dance of impermanence. Life's impermanence requires a brave heart to truly embrace, freeing us to cherish each moment in its passing beauty. Loss and endings become proclamations of honour for what was, with openness to what may yet come. This acceptance nurtures resilience, rooting us in the present's vibrant reality, uncoupling us from the illusion of permanence and empowering us to savour life's intricate tapestry with grace. In the quiet depths of Nietzschean philosophy lies the concept of the will to truth, a mysterious force driving us beyond the soothing veils of illusion towards a stark and unfiltered reality. This yearning is more than mere curiosity. It is an awakening, a bold rebellion against the confines of personal delusions and collective myths. With each step on this pilgrimage toward truth, we are confronted with an honesty that calls us to see the world untainted and raw, free from the comforting shadows that once offered solace. Here, Goethe's insight into truth being stranger than fiction resonates deeply. Embracing truth is to cradle both enlightenment and peril, illumination and potential despair. Such a path demands courage, an audacity that wraps itself around vulnerability, inviting open-hearted exploration into realms of uncertainty. With a warrior's spirit, we face revelations that dismantle our preconceived notions, urging us to stand firm against the illusions held by society. This journey, often lonely, strips away the narratives we knew, leaving us bare before the chaotic dance of existence. It is a trial by fire where every layer peeled away asks if we dare to persist, wielding truth like a double-edged sword that liberates even as it cuts. To traverse such existential landscapes, we must first inspire ourselves with the courage to dismantle old comforts, those beliefs that once anchored us in a semblance of safety. The pursuit of truth demands sacrifice, an unsettling alchemy that transforms stability into complexity. It's a metamorphosis where the only certainty is change itself, and the myths we've long clung to are replaced by the shimmering possibility of new beginnings. Here the narratives of yesterday crumble, rendering us pioneers in an unmapped emotional wilderness. Embracing this path means making peace with the emotional vacuums that inevitably arise, regions of our inner world stripped bare by the relentless scouring of truth. In these voids, uncertainty reigns, a landscape where the familiar is forsaken in favour of introspection, guided only by the gentle light of self-awareness. Amidst this disquiet, we nurture resilience, relying on the soft power of mindful reflection. With every mindful breath, we learn to balance the weight of truth with the lightness of empathy, each discovery a step towards understanding our own inner landscapes with grace. The intertwining of truth and empathy imbues this quest with a sacred softness. While truth beckons us towards an uncompromising clarity, empathy teaches us to cradle ourselves and others in compassion. Through the veil of vulnerability, we recognize the beauty in each moment, each interaction, a fragile tapestry woven with threads of shared humanity and diverse perceptions. Here, we learn that understanding does not demand agreement. It asks for the dance of curiosity and the embrace of difference. As we continue on this journey, we rediscover freedom, not the freedom of recklessness, but a freedom intricately tied to responsibility. No longer bound by the shackles of inherited beliefs, we are tasked with the creation of our destiny, a life authored authentically from the depths of our core truths. The process is one of continuous transformation, where every encounter with new truths reshapes our understanding and actions. This self-authored existence celebrates the liberation born from vulnerability, a path of courage and resilience that unfurls beneath the vast canopy of possibility. In embracing this truth, we find not isolation but connection, deep unspoken bonds forged in the crucible of shared human experience. It's a symphony of complexity and simplicity, whispered through the poetry of lived experience and the tender exploration of our shared journey. In the sanctuary of solitude, we find strength, learning to weather the storms of misunderstanding and rejection, choosing instead to embrace alienation as a path to deeper connections with kindred souls. It is here amidst the echoes of solitude that the enchanting melody of inner peace emerges, a testament to the quiet power of embracing our honest, unembellished existence. Thus we navigate this sacred landscape of truth, a realm where courage and integrity become our compass, guiding us through the tranquil currents of introspection. As we stand at the edge of the known, the future unfurls like ancient mist, each step an act of courage, each breath a silent vow. This is the journey, one born of strength and vulnerability, leading us ever deeper into the heart of being, where truth, empathy and freedom coalesce into a tender dance, a reverent ode to the existence we choose to embrace. From the very dawn of humanity, myths have woven a tapestry as intricate and comforting as a grandmother's quilt. They are the whispered stories and epic tales that have carried us through the night, infusing the world with colour and meaning. Like ancient maps, these myths guide us through the labyrinth of existence, offering both compass and anchor amid life's uncharted chaos. They cradle our deepest fears and loftiest hopes, providing a framework sturdy enough to support the weight of our existential questions. Yet these narratives weave quietly through the fabric of our consciousness, often unnoticed, shaping how we perceive the world and ourselves within it. Clinging to such comforting fables feels as natural as breathing, each myth a gentle lullaby against the harshness of an unmythologized reality. Wrapped in these narratives, we find solace, a buffer against life's more jarring truths, a sanctuary from the creeping shadow of meaninglessness. But this warm embrace comes at a cost. The myths that protect us can also stifle growth, rooting us in static perceptions and hampering our ability to confront raw, unmediated truth. Such dismantling of myths lays bare the world as it truly is, harsh, perhaps indifferent, yet infinitely more open to authenticity and transformation. Uprooting these steadfast stories can initially shake the ground beneath us. It is as if the very stars by which we navigated have come crashing down, leaving a sky suddenly vast and undefined. In the absence of guiding myths, we are left adrift in the uncertain vastness of reality itself, unshackled yet trembling in the face of newfound freedom. This confrontation with the void can be terrifying, an emotional earthquake that unsettles everything we held to be solid and true. Yet in this unsettling space, where myths lay in shards like broken glass, there exists a profound opportunity for liberation. By confronting and transcending these narratives, we uncover the raw potential to craft truths that resonate with personal authenticity rather than inherited shadows. In discarding the comforting blanket of myth, we unearth an expansive realm where creativity and self-definition flourish untethered. There's no longer an obligation to follow paths dictated by tradition. Instead, we stand at a crossroads of self-authorship, with the freedom to inscribe meaning onto the canvas of existence. This newfound freedom is both exhilarating and daunting, requiring an embrace of uncertainty and a willingness to forge narratives grounded in conscious, deliberate choice. Here, meaning becomes a living entity, ever evolving, reflecting our ongoing journey rather than static dogma. In the debris of old beliefs lies the dim yet promising light of reconstruction. The fragments of shattered myths are not mere remnants of the past, but the raw materials of a new paradigm. Rebuilding becomes a deeply personal endeavour as we sift through the debris, salvaging elements that resonate with truth and integrating them into a cohesive worldview. This structure, born from authenticity and introspection, embraces impermanence and evolution, standing as a testament to growth and the fluidity of understanding. This journey to myth-making immersion is one of profound paradox, teetering between terror and liberation. Without the comfort of old stories, we face the chilling reality of a universe indifferent to human desires, a confrontation that may evoke existential dread. Yet within this void lies the power of choice, a blank slate upon which we can consciously design our narratives. Freed from traditional constraints, we find the exhilarating potential for self-determined meaning and uncharted exploration. Yet beneath the surface, myths cast shadows, hidden dynamics of power and control that often remain undetected. These narratives, woven into societal norms, can subtly perpetuate oppression, masquerading as benign tradition while maintaining hierarchies. As we confront these shadows, we unlock the potential for transformation, prompting a collective dialogue that aims to dismantle harmful paradigms and embrace equity, inclusivity, and understanding. Through this process, myths evolve into collaborative narratives, nurturing shared humanity rather than enforcing ancient authority. Revived with intent, reseeded myths blossom into narratives that enhance individual and collective existence. By selecting stories rooted in integrity, empathy, and authenticity, we nurture values that align with an ever-evolving consciousness. These dynamic myths become tools for storytelling and connection, transcending difference and fostering a sense of shared community. In this pursuit, we reclaim myth as a unifying force, a co-creative dance where past and present meet, inviting individuals and cultures to collectively craft meaningful narratives. Finally, in a world without eternal myths, we find grounding in the art of being. Philosophical realism allows us to embrace impermanence, to find serenity in uncertainty, and to engage deeply with the simple, profound truths of existence. Here, rather than fleeing from existential questions, we transform discomfort into opportunities for growth. Encountering life not with a preconceived narrative but with openness allows us to appreciate the stories life reveals. And in this acceptance, we craft a mythic dance that is uniquely our own. In the cradle of existence, where life's realities reveal themselves, we find ourselves enveloped in suffering, a companion that demands honest reckoning. This is where Nietzsche's philosophy meets us, inviting us to peer into the depths of pain as a catalyst for transformation. Truth, uncomfortable yet boldly authentic, dismantles the comfortable illusions we cling to, creating a void that seems indifferent and cold. And yet, within this abyss of uncertainty, lies the potential for rebirth, much like a wound that heals stronger than it ever was before. As illusions crumble, the fertile soil of truth prepares us to rebuild our beliefs, nurturing the seeds of new perspectives. When we confront the starkness of our existence, we embark on a soul-searching journey where we are stripped bare, raw, and vulnerable. It's akin to shedding an old skin, a fierce storm raging within, demanding a new face to the inner demons that lurk in shadowed corners. But it's precisely in this vulnerable state that transformation finds its foothold. Here, not merely through endurance, but through the creative force ignited by suffering. We are compelled to forge new paths, reconstruct our identity amidst reality's relentless glare towards newfound clarity and purpose. Nietzsche viewed suffering not just as affliction, but as an alchemical process, a furnace where the soul is refined. Suffering, like the ancient art of turning base metals into gold, offers a transformation of the spirit. We are challenged to rise beyond limitations, delve into the psyche's profound depths, and dismantle the false edifices that shield us from harsh truths. Pain becomes not an adversary, but an essential landscape for personal evolution, transforming resistance into a dance of acceptance and renewal. Destruction and creation, intertwined like a timeless duet, guide us through life's evolutions. In the dismantling of our comforting illusions, we carve space for the new and unforeseen. Picture the phoenix rising from its ashes, or a forest blossoming anew after a cleansing fire. These natural cycles echo the regenerative power within the acceptance of unembellished truths. Nietzsche beckons us into this paradoxical journey, to embrace destruction for its potential renewal, to recognize the fertile grounds that new beginnings demand. As truth shatters comforting delusions, it liberates us from the chains of self-deception. Engaging in this radical process is akin to peeling back layers, unwrapping freedom with each revelation. Facing harsh truths offers an escape from the imprisonment of falsehoods, calling us to venture beyond self-imposed confines into a world where liberation dances wildly, unpredictable, yet exhilaratingly free. Amid this landscape, suffering and truth intersect to plant the seeds of creative rebirth. Within this fertile ground, individuals cultivate renewed senses of direction and purpose. Nietzsche's vision reveals itself here, suffering transformed into endeavours that set our passions alight. It is the gardener's toil upon rough soil, every hardship an opportunity for the emergence of beauty, for creative resurgence sustained and fed by adversity. The dismantling of illusions demands that we forge values anew, that resonate with our most authentic self. As truth disassembles past paradigms, we gaze into the abyss of value creation, where philosophical foundations transcend superficial validation. In the fires of adversity, Nietzsche challenges us to redefine our beliefs, crafting values from self-awareness and autonomy, leading a life that aligns with the eminence of our soul. Vulnerability, far from weakness, is embraced as an agent of transformation, bridging despair to creative rebirth. Nietzsche's wisdom whispers the necessity of laying down defences to step courageously into the unknown. It is the openness to vulnerability that breeds meaningful connections, with the self and others, transforming fear into courage, facilitating growth in acceptance where once there was resistance. Exploring the insights of philosophical minds like Nietzsche, Frankl and Jung, we peer through the window of suffering to view transformation. These thinkers vision chaos as a transformative force, a crucible from which wisdom can be drawn and life's uncertainties navigated. Their teachings provide the lantern to light paths through the darkness, encouraging growth beneath the chaotic tempest of rebirth. Sacred rituals emerge as artful practices of inner alchemy. Nietzsche guides us toward the creation of intentional moments that anchor our souls through distress, fostering creative rebirth. Practices such as journaling and meditation act as conduits for reflection and healing, spaces where pain can be transmuted and insights gleaned. The journey of rebirth, woven between conscious and subconscious dialogues, becomes an unending tapestry. This intimate conversation between ego and deeper self reshapes our understanding of truth, tethering us to the shimmering constellations of our existence. It is an ongoing narrative where psychic shadows confront conscious light, creating a harmonious interplay. Revealed through dream, symbols, and introspection, this subconscious dance energizes transformation, guiding us through the labyrinth of rebirth towards a more profound, enduring communion with our authentic selves. In the whispered world of Nietzschean thought, the abyss beckons, a vast expanse that reveals the void within ourselves. It stands as a mirror of the soul, one we encounter when stripped bare of life's comforting illusions. As we peer into this existential chasm, we find a reflection not only of the darkness beyond our comprehension, but also of our deepest fears and desires. Here the raw truths of existence lay bare, displaying vulnerabilities and unresolved conflicts that echo the finite nature of our being. This isn't merely an intellectual exercise, it's a rich, soulful meditation with the hidden shadows of our psyche tugged from behind the comforting veils of falsehoods. The abyss, a relentless honest guide, demands that we shed our layers of self-deceit, facing truths about our fragile human condition. It compels us to acknowledge the transient threads of our existence, the inevitability of suffering, and the profound solitude of our individual journeys. As we gaze into this mirror, we confront an unsettling paradox. The act of seeking meaning within the abyss risks unravelling the very weave of meaning itself. This confrontation not only reflects our secret musings, but challenges the fabric of our reality, urging us toward a profound transformation, where the dance of disillusionment paves the way for growth through introspection. This journey is fraught with the risk of losing oneself. The danger is not simply the truths that rise from the deep, but in how these revelations threaten to dismantle the fragile edifices of identity we cling to. Nietzsche warns us, if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. This piercing gaze uncovers our insecurities and doubts, shaking the very foundations of who we believe ourselves to be. Yet, through this crucible of personal alchemy, where the old selves dissolve and new ones are forged, we often find a resilient self emerging, aligned with truths that transcend mere ego. As we traverse this terrain, the task of integrating our shadow, the parts of ourselves we deny or ignore, becomes essential. In the heart of this chasm, we encounter these shadows, full of primitive desires and rejected instincts. Jungian psychology teaches us that to become whole, we must embrace these darker elements without judgment, weaving them into our conscious awareness. Far from darkening us, This integration enhances our wholeness, dismantling harmful projections and fostering a compassionate self-awareness. The echoes of doubt linger long after the initial gaze into the abyss, challenging every belief we once held dear. Comforting myths and narratives unravel, leaving behind a crisis of belief. Yet, doubt exposes the gaps in our understanding, urging us to discard false certainties and foster a more fluid and dynamic relationship with truth. This journey, though disorienting, leads to a more robust belief system, one that aligns with the complex symphony of our lived experiences. Confronting the abyss also means grappling with the dialectical dance between fear and freedom. The chasm exposes our vulnerabilities and sparks a profound existential fear. But within this fear lies the potential for freedom, untethered from illusion, where choices emerge from authenticity. Embracing these paradoxes enriches our lives, urging us toward deeper engagement with existence's intricate joys and challenges. To navigate this void without losing oneself, the art of detachment becomes crucial. This practice, celebrated in various philosophical traditions, encourages observing thoughts and emotions without over-identifying. By cultivating a witness consciousness, we dance between darkness and light, holding both as sacred elements of our expansive humanity. This detachment fosters inner peace and resilience, transforming fear-based reactions into creative possibilities. This journey demands vulnerability, the courage to expose our deepest fears and inadequacies without armouring ourselves. In a world that rewards self-assuredness, such vulnerability is a potent testament to strength. It allows for genuine connections and profound personal growth, fostering empathy and understanding, and laying a foundation for healing and transformation. As we emerge from this transformative encounter, we bear the responsibility to create meaning from chaos. Nietzsche champions creative self-authorship as a way to transcend nihilism, urging us to weave our values and purpose amidst the chaos. This existential creativity invites us to craft narratives that honour our truths, forging a life brimming with intrinsic beauty and vitality. While the Abyss journey is deeply personal, it's one where community can play a vital role. Sharing these encounters within a supportive environment can enrich the experience, offering diverse perspectives and fostering collective growth. Community provides solace, resilience, and a shared purpose, enhancing each individual's journey through mutual understanding and support. Ultimately, the return from the Abyss demands not just survival but integration, a weaving of newfound wisdom into the living tapestry of our daily lives. This dynamic state of being enhances empathy, creativity, and resilience, allowing us to embody our truths with grace. As we live out the insights gleaned from the Abyss, we become harmonized embodiments of life's delicate balance, continuously evolving toward a deeper human experience. In this ongoing dance of becoming, the Abyss is not an end but a fertile ground for endless transformation. In the gentle embrace of night, when the world is hushed and shadows lengthen, we gather around an eternal flame to speak of a path less taken, a journey to becoming the overman through the crucible of suffering. Suffering, like a silent alchemist, waits in the crevices of life, poised to transform what we know into something exquisitely new. For Nietzsche, the overman, a figure gleaming with self-authored essence, is born not by shunning the discomforts of existence, but by wrapping them around his very being, allowing them to mould and refine him. Imagine, if you will, suffering not as an enemy, but as an ancient artisan, working tirelessly on our tapestry of life, pulling at the threads of our cherished illusions, exposing the delicate weave of reality beneath. Herein lies our task, to gather our courage and meet the abyss with open arms, to wander those shadowed paths where our truthful essence waits, unencumbered by the soft lies we dearly clutch. There is an art in confronting despair, a defiance that whispers through the ages, telling tales of transformation, not by sheer will, but through a dance with our most feared spectres. Nietzsche's vision speaks of rebellion, a refusal to be subdued by the heaviness of our burdens, instead using them as stepping stones to realms of unexplored self-realization. In each moment of despair, in the silent cries of our deepest dark, lies an invitation to rise beyond the ordinary, to sculpt out of raw stone an existence that resonates with unending mystery and untapped potential. Beneath the hands of persistence, the soul patiently carves away at superfluous corners of its being, revealing the timeless overman within. It is a slow, deliberate chiseling, guided more by intuition than forethought, crafting meaning where once lay nothing but life's relentless questions. True transformation does not reside in the vanishment of pain, but springs forth from the invisible seeds of resilience that suffering plants in the fertile ground of our existence. This journey is punctuated by the echoes of ancient morality, urging the overman to venture beyond the dichotomy of good and evil. Here, as in an intimate dialogue with the universe, personal ethics bloom not from doctrine, but from the rich soil of visceral experience. Each soul is tasked many times over with the reinvention of its moral self, a holy endeavour, as captivating as it is feared, where truth and authenticity emerge untethered by the hollow structures of societal comfort. Embracing chaos, life's beloved enigma, we merge with a dance that is both wild and wondrous, finding solace in uncertainty's embrace, rather than shelter in predictability's cold arms. This delicate dance with chaos is one of harmony and creation, offering glimpses into uncharted energies that pulse beneath life's erratic surface. Through chaos, a spirit finds its rhythm and becomes aware of its untapped potential, ready to compose melodies yet unheard. Within this sacred narrative dwells a profound integration, a symbolic death before the dawn of new life. All that once defined us without our consent begins to dissolve, allowing the shadow and light to meet and kiss, uniting the fragments of our psyche into a singular, expressive symphony. Herein lies a reconciliation, where our hidden shadows become a chorus, fortifying our resolve with every verse, preparing us for a revelation that demands no less than the totality of our being. As we peer into the curious concept of eternal recurrence, life poses to us a challenge both exquisite and terrifying. To inhabit our moments so deeply that we would wish for them eternally. Each sunrise becomes an invitation to craft an existence of deliberate creation, where every heartbeat resonates with the gravitas and grace of a beloved thereafter. Yet beneath all this grand philosophy, suffering unveils itself as a blank canvas, beckoning us to paint not with the colours of resignation, but of rebirth. Suffering, mysteriously intertwined with joy, asks us to draw profound truth amid its folds, transforming leaden experience into golden wisdom. There is a beauty in this alchemy, a gift that reveals life as a sacred artwork constantly in the act of becoming. In the silent watches before dawn, we come to understand that to become the overman is to be the weaver of our narrative, the poet of our own becoming. And solitude, gentle yet unwavering, becomes our ally. a tender guardian that shelters us as we engage in the intimate process of self-discovery and await the dance that bridges suffering with its kin, joy. Thus, in the quiet sanctuary of our reflections, the overman emerges, no longer a distant ideal but a living, breathing essence, forged from the fiery heart of suffering, standing in serene defiance against the tides of despair. This pilgrimage of shadow, of chaos, of unending possibility leads us home to ourselves complete, transcended, and enduringly whole. In the vast expanse of our lives, we often weave delicate cocoons of comforting illusions, soft blankets that cradle us against the more abrasive truths of existence. These comforting narratives shield us from reality's harsher edges, maintaining a fragile equilibrium by portraying stability and security where there may be none. But then, truth arrives, gently at first, then with fierce insistence, shattering these illusions and leaving us bare to the world, unarmoured and vulnerable. The embrace of truth reverberates through our consciousness like the distant drums of a storm, demanding we wake from the long, deceptive dream we've been lulled into. In these moments that sleep dissipates and we stare into the mirror with eyes unmasked, encountering a stark clarity that can be both unsettling and disorienting. As comforting illusions evaporate, we're thrust into a transformative unravelling, shedding skins of belief and identity in favour of deeper authenticity. Though tumultuous and perplexing, this journey births a new form of freedom, a freedom not draped in comforting oblivion, but in the radiant authenticity of a life touched by truth. Emerging from the remnants of our illusions, we step onto the trembling ground of raw freedom. This newfound liberation is both magnificent and bewildering, a shedding of pretense and dogma, leaving us exposed to life's wild, unfiltered breeze. In this place we dwell in a paradox, more vulnerable, yet profoundly more powerful. This freedom invites a raw, unadulterated encounter with life's complexity and chaos, a truth-rendered world where every choice etches meaning into the ever-flowing narrative of our existence. As the walls that sheltered us crumble, we find ourselves navigating the wilderness of uncertainty, a vast and untamed territory where familiar landmarks fall away. Here, our sense of inner guidance becomes our compass, urging us to rethink our priorities and abandon worn-out tenets that no longer serve us. This wilderness hums with potential, inviting us to forge our own paths and uncover the scattered pieces of self-discovery and transformation. In this turbulence, the familiar crutch of external validation begins to lose its grip. As facades dissolve, the measure of our worth must shift inward, calling us to honour our unique essence independent of external approbation. This journey, fraught with the echoes of long-held fears of rejection and inadequacy, ultimately brings freedom and empowerment. As authenticity becomes our guiding light, we revel in its intrinsic value, free from the shallow allure of others' approval. Yet this liberation ushers in a paradoxical tension between freedom and loneliness. As we sever ties with comforting illusions, we may find ourselves estranged from familiar circles, surrounded by silence and misunderstood. However, solitude's initial starkness transforms into fertile ground for deep self-reflection and self-compassion. Here lies the paradox. Through loneliness, we discover an unquantifiable depth and connection to the universal. It challenges us to embrace the potential within solitude, nurturing an intimate inner relationship that leads to a profound interconnectedness with all who share this path of truth and freedom. Venturing forth into uncomfortable freedom strengthens the sinew of psychological resilience, a robust capacity to endure and grow amidst reality's raw challenges. This resilience isn't merely defensive, but forms a dynamic bond with life's trials, providing a canvas for inner wisdom to blossom from adversity. It beckons us to trust our journey through discomfort, reminding us of our innate power to weather life's storms and emerge more aligned with our true selves. On the precipice of truth, we find ourselves poised for a creative rebirth, a realm where freedom marries creativity, inviting a renaissance of authenticity. As illusions dissipate, innovation takes root, fueled by the courage to express unfulfilled potential. This rebirth reaches beyond art, turning life itself into an expression of truth, where we are artists crafting the masterpiece of our existence, shaping narratives that resonate with our deepest selves. Within this crucible of transformation, relationships also undergo profound alchemy. As societal scripts and relational dynamics dissolve, new spaces open for honest, meaningful connections. Freed from maintaining facades, our relationships become dances of authenticity and trust. This openness allows us to foster communities that nurture our growth, reflecting the intricate web of our shared human experience. Amidst this journey, the subtle power of silent reflection guides us toward profound insights and healing. In the quiet sanctuary of our minds, we return to our essence, distilling the chaos into coherent patterns and listening to the whispers of inner wisdom. This practice nourishes our souls, balancing the chaos with moments of introspection and tranquility. Ultimately, embracing uncomfortable freedom requires the courage to script our lives, a bold act of self-authorship that shuns societal norms for a path resonant with truth. Venturing beyond familiar structures into uncertainty, we challenge conventions and redefine our realities, celebrating the vibrancy of freedom and its endless possibilities. Living an unscripted life affirms our commitment to truth, reveling in the aliveness found along freedom's tender embrace. In the hushed embrace of night, Nietzsche beckons us to live dangerously, drawing us to the edges where truth flickers like a precarious flame. This challenge whispers through the corridors of our guarded hearts, encouraging us to navigate beyond the lulling safety of known harbours. It is an invitation to seek more, despite the unrest it may stir within us, to unravel life's deeper questions, cloaked beneath layers of comfort and security. As we peer beyond conventional living, reality's harsh truths beckon us from beyond the borders of societal norms and inherited beliefs. Living dangerously requires courage, to let go of the familiar, to dismantle facades, and to stand unflinching in the raw authenticity of our existence. We encounter this path not merely for the thrill of chaos, but because in this delicate balancing act between comfort and discomfort lies the transformative journey of self-awareness and growth. In this embrace of the unknown we forge ahead, recognizing that each step taken away from illusion guides us ever closer to the bedrock of truth. Bearing the torch of truth is a monumental task, one that requires resolute strength and enlightenment's enduring flames. To hold this light is to see through veils of comforting illusions and remain steadfast despite inner turmoil or societal resistance. The truth, shrouded often in misunderstood brilliance, illuminates the unseen threads of reality, drawing others toward its warmth. The torchbearer's courage can birth a shared illumination, inviting others into their own dance with authenticity and transformation. Yet to live with such unyielding honesty is to embrace the wounds reality imprints upon us. Stripped of its comforting layers, the universe can feel indifferent, stark, a vast landscape void of inherent promise. These wounds, though deep, serve to strengthen the spirit, a testament not to our fragility but to our resilience. Each scar bears witness to the battles waged and survived, etching tales of courage into the fabric of our being. Amidst this stark reality, we discover a paradoxical serenity. True freedom, birthed from truth's embrace, thrives in chaos, alive and liberating. It is not freedom from challenges, but an awakening within constraints, a vibrant engagement with life's mutable essence. As we navigate this freedom, we fill it not with an aversion to uncertainty, but with an acceptance of it as a gateway to infinite potential. This navigation becomes a testament to our growing self-awareness, a skill honed through reflection and critical thought, which guides us as we sail uncharted waters with a graceful confidence. In this space where detachment and engagement dance, we find clarity. Detachment offers perspective, a crystalline lens to witness life's complexities without being drawn into its storm. It is a discipline, a quiet strength, cultivating the space to engage intentionally and with integrity. Engagement then calls us to action, transforming our inner clarity into tangible outcomes, enriching ourselves and the world around us in the process. This fluid movement, this harmonious rhythm, lets us embody the truths we cherish while remaining open, arms wide to life's evolving dance. The alchemy of suffering into strength resides at the heart of our journey as truth-bearers. Each struggle, embraced rather than avoided, refines our inner landscape. Through reflection and acceptance, suffering sheds its shadowy guise, emerging as a teacher, imparting profound insight and resilience. This transformation mirrors nature's eternal cycle, our personal pain transmuted into threads of gold, resilience forged from raw experience. Embodying a presence steeped in truth becomes the summit of our odyssey. In a quiet congruence where thought, emotion, and action align, we find authenticity. Here, there is no chase for perfection, only a humble embrace of our imperfect wholeness. Such presence beckons authenticity in others, creating bonds woven in honesty. This simple yet profound practice fosters a world where truth and understanding form its very foundation. As we traverse the labyrinth of life, courage awakens within us, blending seamlessly with vulnerability. In a world favouring polished facades, it demands bravery to remain uncovered. Yet, in this exposure lies our strength. The courage to show ourselves sacred and raw invites others to do the same. This courage becomes a symphony, harmonising our shared humanity through connections born of truth and love. This journey, cyclical and ever-renewing, pulses with resilience, a steadfast anchor amidst life's tumult. Through reflection, we redraft our beliefs, resilience unfurling into renewal. This endless cycle, where understanding deepens, nurtures our expansion beyond past limitations. As truth-bearers, we roam unstopped by life's storms, each challenge not a hindrance but a new horizon for reinvention. Ultimately, by living as truth-bearers, we craft a legacy, a tapestry of wholeness, woven with the threads of authenticity and enlightenment. This legacy transcends personal victories, fostering a world where truth becomes as vital as the air we breathe. It's an offering to the collective, where our daily actions inspire a ripple of transformation that echoes through generations to come. In this grand design, we have the power to weave together a harmonious world each truth a vibrant stitch in this shared tapestry, a world where dignity and understanding are celebrated in every soul's journey. If this exploration has ignited your curiosity or spoken to your soul, consider joining us on this shared path. Like and subscribe to continue unraveling the profound tapestries of life with us, here in this sacred space of discovery and understanding.